Virgo, it's Raina. I want to introduce you to a new feature of mine. These are abundance readings. I've had some time in between my normal love readings and my general tarot readings to, explore this. I've been meaning to do this for quite some time. The only reason I have these cards already laid out is because I've started this video like a dozen times. So that hopefully this will be the last time. And I also wanted to say that this reading is called the Rainbow of Prosperity Spread. I got it from tarotforum.net, and I have done a few of these, or a couple of them, and it seems to really, with this spread, and I really liked how it felt, so I'm going to continue with it. And the other thing I wanted to tell you is that this is for the first quarter of the year, but since January is practically toast, it's going to be, so my intention was, from the time I started the first one was January 27th, the new moon in Aquarius, and it's going until March 27th, the new moon in Aries. So that will kind of cover roughly that period that I think leads up to April 1st for the first quarter of the financial year. And the other thing, talking about transits, for you, you have Jupiter in your second house of earned income until October 11th. So this is a time when you may see that your finances increase in some way. I say in some way because I had this transit in my natal chart a few years ago. And it actually worked out where it wasn't the money that I earned, which is the second house, but it was more of the eighth house, the opposite house, where I got money from an outside source. So it could have something to do with that opposition, against that transiting Jupiter anyway, that made the difference, or that created that particular opportunity. So don't just think it has to come through the money that you earn. It could come through someone giving it to you or gifting it to you, depending on if there are planets aspecting it, I suppose. But anyway, I think we can also generalize and say you're going to increase your finances. So that being said, let me begin with the reading, and I'm going to tell you what each card represents, the position and my interpretation. The first card is what you want, and you have the Three of Pentacles. Another thing that I want to make clear about these readings is that I think it's better to use this as a philosophical aid rather than hanging on to the meaning of each card and looking at it prophetically, because I do get, comments now and then where people are basically saying, stop talking so much and just cut to the chase. They just want to know what's going to happen to them. And all that talking is getting in the way of finding out what's going to happen to them. And yet they don't realize that they're being an observer, a passive observer to their own life, if they hear what I'm saying as just a bunch of empty talk. Because when I'm talking, I'm trying to impart ideas that are connected with self-empowerment, not with hoping and praying for good astrological transits and nice cards and readings. And, it's always nice when we align with cards that really, speak to our life situation. But sometimes it just doesn't happen, even in private readings. Sometimes it can be quite enigmatic, where you're like, wow, I wonder what this means. Because that is the whole purpose of life. If it's going to just be spelled out for us and we're going to know everything about it, then what's the purpose of it in the first place? There has to be mystery, and there has to be some element of either surprise or just us being in a state of allowing. We're not trying to control everything, okay? So I just wanted to kind of like put people into a different mindset. And just kind of look at this as, how does this speak about my attitude towards finances, towards material resources? Virgo is a very thrifty sign, unless you have a lot of Leo or Aries or things like that. But it tends to be rather resourceful and minimalistic sometimes. And so it's not, the thing is not veering into fear-based thinking where it's the scarcity consciousness. But if you're really being minimalistic, wanting a simple life, that's wonderful because you recognize the riches that abound in other ways than just buying something. The other thing too is that when you don't have a lot of stuff to maintain, you don't have to work as hard. You don't have to earn as much money. There was Thoreau had a thing about, he had an essay about simplifying. And he says, simplify, simplify, simplify. So it's something that is not new, this idea. And he even talks in this essay, I wish I could think of the name of it, but he talked about the cost of the things that we buy, and it really made a big impact on me because it's a cost of time. You have to, the time that you spend, is that worth it? That, designer pair of shoes, how many hours did it take for you to earn that? So that kind of thing is something important to kind of consider. So this is what you want. The Three of Pentacles can mean that some Virgos really want to be involved in a project that is financially lucrative. In other words, it could be a hobby that you turn into an actual business. And some of you may already be engaged in this, but you really want it to succeed. The number 3 is a number associated with abundance, by the way, as well as creativity. So this is a card of the architect who is building a foundation that is worthy of his goal. And so it's not going to be a get-rich-quick scheme. This is something that is methodical. It's like brick by brick. So whatever it is that you're doing, because it's pentacles, it's tangible results. It's things that are occurring, but it's still a work in progress. Okay. The second card indicates what you need, and you got the Temperance card. Now, the Temperance card, I would say in this context, is about balanced goals. So you don't want to be too grandiose in your ideas. And I don't think that a lot of Virgos are. I think Virgo, one of the quiet charms, or what's another word for that? Just one of the attributes that I associate, positive attributes with Virgo, is being realistic and not being too pie in the sky. The Temperance card is actually associated with Sagittarius. And it also can indicate, you see the person has one foot in the water and one foot on earth. So I think it's also a spiritual and material balance. In other words, not veering too far into one direction. If you're a Virgo who wants to, let's say, start a massage therapy business, you don't necessarily want to just focus on, you may want to have some kind of spiritual dimension to it instead of just being like, well, this is going to help you heal your body. You're going to maybe want to connect it to something spiritual as well. This will help to calm your mind or to clear your consciousness and emphasize both aspects of life. This can also mean that you have to balance if you are very involved in something, you have to balance your other aspects of life. Maybe you're working too hard. Maybe you're working 2 jobs to make this happen. You still are working some other job, and that's kind of taking its toll. Okay, I think that's enough of that. What you already have, another Pentacles card. So this is like very practical stuff, what you already have. So this is what I was just talking about. Some of you may have a day job. And so this card tends to show somebody juggling multiple streams of income. So it doesn't have to be a job. It could be like rental property, something like that. If you are somebody who has, maybe you're like a day trader, maybe you have some way that you earn money, but it's not what you really like to do. So you may be juggling these things. There may be people that have some kind of a job offer that is far away, and that is creating conflict with them in terms of doing everything that they're doing. You see, I'm starting with the premise that Virgos want to have their own business. And perhaps that's not true in 100% of the cases. Perhaps some of you just want to have a lucrative career where you are really feeling like your work is being given proper respect and proper compensation, but also that you get along with your coworkers, because that first card, the 3 of Pentacles, indicates teamwork, okay? So maybe some of you, it's not that you want to have your own business, but you want to have a career, a job that you feel is acknowledging you and showcasing your skills. And this could just be that you are dealing with a lot on your plate right now. And I think that's also, why the Temperance card came up, because you may need to balance things. Okay, what you need to give up. Another Pentacles card. I'm getting a lot of Pentacles. I think that I'm getting a lot of Pentacles. Maybe some of you are focusing too much on dollars and cents, and you need to let that go. The Page of Pentacles is a card of the student. I'm just thinking about my particular life, and I have a moon in Virgo. I'm not trying to tie it into my life right now, but the thing that kind of jumped out at me was remembering a time, and it wasn't even that long ago, even as a mature adult, when I went back to school, and I thought that was the answer to all my problems. I thought, if I get the proper training, then I will be eligible for this job and that job, and the whole world is going to open up for me. And I didn't feel that happened, but on top of that, I was going on the wrong path to begin with. And so my feeling is that for some people, and I could totally see an earth sign person particularly, because you want that tangible thing. You want that piece of paper. And at least some of you might. And the thing about it, it's so weird that I got this card, because I was thinking about this earlier today when I was walking to the store, and I was thinking, I was on this wrong path for a long time, even as a mature adult, because it was just something that seemed like, it seems respectable. It's the well-worn path. You have like a series of things classes you have to take to get your certification or your degree. And that is made easy for you in that sense. But when you're not aligned with it, that's where it becomes difficult. And you find that things do not seem to go your way sometimes, or you just don't feel it. You feel like you're an imposter. And so that may be true for some of you. Maybe you're trying to fit yourself into that hole, and you're like a square peg. You just don't fit into that, even though it seems so practical and it seems like that's the thing to do. If you're doing something, if you have a certain vision for what it is that you want to offer, and there may not be a certificate for that, you have to learn how to live outside of this matrix. That, the matrix always has these different like little slots that we are supposed to fit into to be quote unquote professionals. And you have to kind of start thinking for yourself if you really are hung up on that. For some people, this card could also connect to a person. Maybe there's somebody that is not good for you that's an earth sign. This person, it's a page, so sometimes it can represent children. Obviously, I'm not telling you to give up your children, but it could be just in general an immature earth sign. This person could be either a Taurus, a fellow Virgo, or a Capricorn, and it's possible that they are not supporting your dreams. So in some cases, they may be downright thwarting them because they feel challenged for some reason. So I just wanted to, give that possibility as well, because sometimes it can actually be people. What step needs to be taken next? Wow. Well, look what I got. Ace of Pentacles. Walk through that portal to, start that business. I'm recording this on January 30th. Until February 6th, we have all the planets direct. This is kind of a green light from the universe to start something in the next week from this date. Now, obviously, you're not going to all be watching this on the same date, but you get the drift. I think even after that, though, even when Jupiter is retrograding, on the 6th, I think you could still do things. I really am a little bit leery of telling people not to do things for months at a time because planets are retrograding. You can at least take some step, in the direction of your dreams. And this is like the ultimate green light card for your career, because it's like, go for it. Go for it financially. And also, even like if you had some kind of a business loan, it may be saying that's going to come through. Now, this is like a card that deals with outer resources that can come through for you. Now look at this card. It's kind of funny. What kind of resources come from the Eight of Swords? There are two things that come to mind, because these are one of these weird cards that you get to kind of fit a certain category in your reading, and it's like, how the heck do you spin this one? And actually, the first thing that I think about is interior work. That you can find outer resources, for instance, on YouTube, on how to free your mind. Free your mind. Yeah, I was thinking of in Vogue, But, free your mind, because there's something going on that some of you may need to let go of, some outmoded ideas. The Eight of Swords is about feeling oppression, feeling somehow imprisoned, but it's swords, so it's by your own thoughts, your limitations, your sense of limitation. And there's no There's no way for anyone to do that for you. It's something you have to do for yourself. But this is like, I feel like this card is probably the most important card in the whole spread from this standpoint of this is like the key to freeing up your abundance coming to you. For some of you may have a lot more understanding of the law of attraction, but for those who are still very fear-based and concerned about their future, and they're making all their decisions now based on some future calamity, I mean, this is your life. Your life is ticking away. And I believe we are eternal souls. So it's not like, oh my God, if I don't do X, Y, and Z in the next 5 years, that means I'll never be able to do certain things. I believe that we are eternal souls. Time is an illusion, but we still have to operate under this illusion. So to me, it's completely foolish to live your present and make present decisions based on future fears for your future. That doesn't mean that you just like blow your money on gambling and just don't totally irresponsible and don't think about anything other than whatever's happening in this moment and just being indulgent. But on the other hand, there's two extremes. That's one extreme, but the other extreme is being held in prison, imprisoned by your fears, which is what this card represents. So go to YouTube, law of attraction, money, law of attraction, career, law of attraction, life purpose, whatever it is, and listen. A lot of them will be Abraham Hicks, but there are other teachers who teach law of attraction. If you resonate more with somebody else, that's cool. But the point is to just fill yourself up with positivity. Do not speak about your fears to people that are fearful, because they will reinforce those fears. It doesn't make any sense to do that. Try to find people who kind of put this into motion already and who can make you feel more hopeful about your future, not more oppressed. Okay, and this is who can and will help you. Okay? Now, I don't know why they say who can help you, because that would imply a person. I would rather also include what can help you. And this is the world. This could just be, the timing is really good because you're coming to an end of a cycle possibly. You just had a solar eclipse on September 1st of 2016. Solar eclipses can have a storyline of maybe 6 months. And that was a new beginning for Virgos, okay? So you may have seen changes occur in your life. And so during this time period, that solar eclipse may still be playing out in your life. And yet, even though you have beginnings, there might be endings that are also having occurred. You had Jupiter in your first house last year. So you may have seen a whole new Jupiter cycle. But, I just thought of this. You're going to have a lunar eclipse on February 10th in Leo. That's your 12th house. So 12th house is the last house. It's like the loose ends house. So that could be the world card really coming into play around the time of that lunar eclipse. So the cosmos may be acting on your behalf and propelling you into new realities, okay? But also, the world can indicate the world itself. Maybe travel will be of benefit to you. And certainly because Jupiter is connected to the ninth house, which is Sagittarius and includes foreign travel, foreign people, it's possible that in your second house of earned income, it could have some kind of benefit with foreigners. So maybe that will be that you will earn money in a foreign land, or you're going to deal with people. It could be just on the internet that you're dealing with them, but you're dealing with people from other countries. So if you have an internet business, for instance. And the last card is the prize, or the pot of gold, in the rainbow, at the end of the rainbow. So we're looking at the end result, the 10 of Wands. Wands connect to careers. Now you see, this is the first Wands I've got, so I love this as the result. Because, we have all the Pentacles, which are the practical things. But this is like your labor of love. Okay? Now, the person may be kind of hunched over, which indicates a lot of work. To the point where you may need, a lot of R&R after this. But it indicates, in my Anthony Lewis Plain and Simple book, they call this the price of success or something like that, the burden of success. So it can indicate that you have a lot of business, but, you're working very hard. And even the Three of Pentacles can indicate somebody who's really working away. So I see you as in that process. Maybe there are going to be times when you're really swamped and that you're going to have to exercise that temperance because you don't want to get burned out, but it's showing the fruit. And that's the important thing, Virgo. So I hope you enjoy this. And I do have personal readings that involve career and money and life paths. So you can check out my, my shop online at rainamoonastrology.com. Otherwise, have a great first quarter of the year. Take care. Bye.